Awesome. So some of you already know me or would be joining the first time. I'm not pretty sure that how basically you know about me or not, but let me introduce myself. So my name is Anuj Bharadwaj, and I have been working in this industry from last 12 to 13 years. I'm about 13 years about to complete now. So I started my career with the networking. Like I was quite good at CCNA, then CCNP, and then slowly moved to the network security, like basically the firewalls and all. And then I moved on to the cybersecurity. During this journey, I have also completed my advanced certification in cybersecurity and cyber defense that was done from IIT Kanpur. So that was really a good learning from IIT. And then even before that, I was involved with the teaching and I'm training the students on the cybersecurity aspects. So basically, my areas are network security as well as the EDR, Splunk, that is our SIEM tool, as well as the threat analysis and ethical hacking. These are things I'm looking over there. But I'm also working in one of the MNC, and there I'm responsible for the network security. That's basically the firewall. Majority in the Palo Alto and FortiGate. Sometimes I also look onto the checkpoint firewall. Along with that, I take care of that CrowdStrike. That's basically an EDR tool that whenever something, any threat or comes or any detections are found in any of the PCs or server, then we try to troubleshoot that. Is that really a threat to that system or just normal one or like false positive? Along with that, I also take care of the email security. It's like sometimes you know that we are getting a phishing emails or sometimes like invoice that hit here and everybody like sent to everybody. So how to stop this, how to mitigate these attacks, what are the policies we should configure on the email gateways and so that we can stop those. So these are things I'm taking care. So this was about me and whenever I'm starting because you are here for the learning Palo Alto Firewall. So because you want to get in the network security, it is very essential that you are having a basic understanding of networking. Like if you don't know the networking, it is going to be little tough for you. So how basically you are like you are good in networking, you are a beginner, anyone? Or you can type in chat if you want to speak.
Hey, hi, and so good morning. This is Sai. I'm a beginner in networking.
Okay. So whenever you say the beginner, that what knowledge you have in the networking basically.
Currently, I'm working as a FI engineer in one of the banking sector where
Okay.
where I used to configure and implement the virtual servers for the bank internal and external
Hmm.
applications. And
Okay.
apart from this, in firewall, I just used to check the logs. That's it.
Okay, cool. So if I just like a little bit, let me focus a little bit that what knowledge you should have. The very first thing is it very essential that you should be having like subnetting knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know the subnetting, you know the switching concept, switching like how the switches works, at what is the VLAN and all.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing, it is very essential that you understand the routing. Okay, so you do not have to be like very smart in any of the routing protocols like OSPF or BGP or any other routing protocols, but it is very essential that you understand the static routes. Because
Okay.
why this is required? Because let's suppose you are going to deploy it, so you should be having a basic understanding that which subnet or which IP where should I configure. If you don't know that, it is like going to be little tough. Okay.
Okay.
So, come considering that you are an F5 engineer, so you have little because because if you become F5 engineer, you have to configure like pool members and all. So
Exactly.
you often check the connectivity. You also configure like health check. So in case of health check, you make sure that you are reaching to that server, like suppose
Back and forth.
ICMP. Yeah. Sorry. So I hope that you can like with this that level you can proceed. It's not going to be tough, but whenever like you struggle something in understanding, you can like have to review the concept. But if anybody is like already good in networking, that's like add an advantage. But if you little lag somewhere, because whenever I will be teaching, so I will not be focusing much on the networking. Like if you have any questions, I will be happy to take because I have a good networking background. I can explain all the questions. But if we focus more on the networking, so we'll be like out of the topic. So it's good that you have that knowledge. Another thing, like once we proceed, so I think this is like essentials, basic that you can say that if you don't have it, it's going to be tough for you. So anybody have exposure to the firewalls that they know it, that what basically they are and what is the purpose of it. So I hope like at least people are aware that okay, firewall, it's something which is the security perspective and we deploy it to safeguard from the threats or attacks, right? At least we know that, or anybody knows don't know that as well. This is simple, right? We understand that okay, whenever anyone says that okay, we want to like safeguard something, like whenever any cyber attack is there, very first thing comes in my mind that deploy the firewall. Obviously, like our firewall is a security device, take cares of the security, right? So, for example, anyone wants to cross our firewall, and cross means that not physically, like any packet which is traveling, and if it is not essential and we have certain rules and the configuration of that firewall, they cannot cross our firewall. Our internal network is safe. Now whenever we say that our firewall makes us safe, so obviously the question leads us to how that what configuration the firewall is having, what it is there inside, how basically it is stopping these attacks. Why can't the router do that one? Or we have the switch in between, how that cannot stop that, right? So if we want to uh, make the difference between them, we have to understand the concepts of these switches and routers and then firewall. Then we understand that how switches and routers do not stop these things and how the firewalls stop it. Okay. So if I go little bit uh, review the switch, which is basically a layer 2 device. And the concept of switch is that any frame which is received on any of this interface that is being sent to all of the interfaces, right? So any frame received here, it will be sent here, 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 here. That's like concept of our layer 2 switch. It's replicated to or sent to each of the ports, whatever number of ports it will be having, it will be sent to all. We wanted to make that a little bit safe. We introduced the concept of VLAN. Okay, whenever we introduce the concept of VLAN, then whatever the members of that VLAN are the ports. For example, this port is part of that VLAN 10. This member is also part of VLAN 10, and this member is also part of VLAN 10. So what will be happening? They will be only communicating with this and that. Remaining other ports, they are not part of VLAN 10, or they could be part of any other VLAN. The frame will not be sent to those ports. So that's basically the concept of our layer 2. So if you little bit focus, only the restrictions we are having, that is focusing on the VLAN. Like if you segregate the traffic, that's the VLAN which is making the difference. or you can say our broadcast domain that's within the VLAN. If some of the ports are part of same VLAN, you do not have any mechanism to stop that traffic to flow through those ports. So if any other guys like malicious guy, anyhow they got that port, or any person came and they unplug that cable and connect that malicious guy connect that cable, you do not have any restrictions or a notification. All the traffic will be sent to that malicious guy. So that's basically the layer two. Then we also have our routers. The router is our layer three device. And here what we happening that we are having our routing table, and all the traffic is forwarded based on that routing table and how that routing table are formed. So either it could be because of the static routes or any of the dynamic routing protocols. So that's how basically the routing table is created. And looking onto that routing table, for example, any packet is coming on this interface, right? So for example, any packet received here, and that destination belongs to go to in this direction. We're looking onto our routing table that, okay, we have a routing table entry that, okay, this destination is connected through that port. So what the router will do, it will forward that packet or send that packet towards that direction. If any other packet comes and that destination belong to some other way, so it will come here, it checks the routing table, what is the routing table entry, and then it sends to that one. So here also you see that it just looking onto the routing table and forwarding our packets. There is no security restrictions that which can control the traffic that where it should send and where it should not. Anyone think that a router is having some security feature that can restrict our traffic? If you cannot speak, you can type in chat as well. So do you think that our router is having some security feature that can restrict our traffic, or it doesn't have?
Sometimes we can filter like based on use, like ACL, it's
Correct,
routing.
correct. So in the router, we are having a concept that is called as access control list. That is called as an ACL. So what happens that we do create some rules that, okay, from this source IP to that destination IP, from that source port to that destination port, and then we define that whether that has to be permit or deny. So we can create a rule based on that traffic is allow or deny. So we have that control, but if you like create a very use this ACL, the chances of the CPU and memory uses are going high, like the router resources, they are utilized more. And chances are there like you interfere with their score concept, which is its routing. Okay, so they have introduced a little bit functionality of the security in the routers. So almost I think every vendor has introduced that. Even Cisco named as uh, ACL, Juniper also having with this policy. Like every vendor is having almost a similar concept. Either they take name as an ACL or access control is or something else, but they have that functionality that they can control the traffic. But obviously, whenever you are utilizing these resources, you are overutilizing or the interfering with its core concept of our its routing, because the router is meant to be routing, not for the security. But obviously, like whenever, like suppose you buy a phone, phone is meant to be calling, but now we're not happy with that. We also want every good camera on installed, and that one we can take good selfie. We also need that, okay, gaming should be very good, display should be very good, sound should be very good. So that's like requirements. The additional features are always included based on the demand of the customers. So that's what their vendor has done. They have included some of the security features. But obviously, whatever the more features you use, the more uh, powerful hardware resources should be there on that device so that it can cater all those requirements. So ultimately, the cost goes high if you take all the features. So for that purpose, like we thought of like let's have a dedicated device for the security. So then we thought of our firewall. So we deployed firewall, and firewall is completely meant for the security perspective. It's a security device. So here we have like in the switches, we are having a MAC address table, and routers, we are having the routing table. Firewalls usually works on as a session table. Session tables are created based on the TCP three-way handshake that it just initiate, done the TCP three-way handshake, and then the session is being installed on the firewall. And based on that session, that traffic is allowed or denied through the firewall. Here, this firewall does this concept of ACL. It means that from certain source IP, or let's take an individual example. For example, you have a source IP of 10.1.1.1 to an IP address of 20.1.1.1. Okay, so and for example, anybody is accessing the port number 80, that is our web browsing traffic, and you permit it that okay, that is allowed. So here in the firewalls, we have a concept of allow specifically on the Palo Alto. Okay, so allow or deny rather than the permitted. So I will take the same name, allow or deny. So based on that, for example, this user 10.1.1 here on that side and 20.1.1.1.1 on that side. In that case, our traffic, if it is allowed, it will cross through the firewall. But if it is denied, it will drop here. It will not be allowed. So that's basically the firewall is doing based on the rules we configured. So you see, if you see, these are like almost layer 3 and layer 4 features. So whenever we talk about our IP address, that is a L3. Whenever we talk about the port number, they are the L4. So this feature is also available on our routers that it takes a decision that like it can take a decision that whether I should allow that traffic or I should deny it. So the similar thing we are doing with the firewall. Whenever we want to like we say that the traffic which is controlled up to layer 4, or we can say the transport layer firewall, because this is a old concept and even the routers are able to do that. We the firewalls which supports only that feature or up to layer 4, those are called as the legacy firewalls. But nowadays, firewalls are not only restricted to control traffic up to layer 4. The requirement, you need a very good camera, you need a very good music on your phone, you need a very good gaming phone, right? You can play very good games. So that was a requirement. The same requirement it was on the this firewall that we introduced. Not only this L4 feature, obviously it has the very basic functionality that it controls the traffic up to layer 4, but also it has an application layer control. Application layer means that, for example, so here, like in this router, for example, you have the control up to layer 4 device, and you are accessing a website, facebook.com. So it cannot like read that, okay, which website you are accessing. It cannot restrict that traffic based on the website name. If you have an IP address, then then only it will control. It cannot read the application traffic, that what traffic it is traveling. Okay. Or for example, you are downloading a PDF file, and in that PDF you have a virus. That is PDF file is virus infected. Your router, in the router, you just allow only source and destination IP, right? You allowed it, but that file, whatever it was downloading, that was also having a virus. That router, or in fact a firewall, which is having only layer 4 capability, cannot drop that virus or cannot detect that virus, because that do not have the functionality of looking on the application layer or what data is traveling inside that cannot read that information. But these firewalls, which can read that data up to the application layer, those are called as a next generation firewalls. So nowadays, our most of the firewalls are coming with the next generation firewalls, and even the firewalls which were only supporting up to layer 4, either they have upgraded to provide the support for the next generation firewalls, or if their hardware cannot support, they have given an additional modules or additional hardware that is integrated with the original hardware, and then it is supporting that features, application layer control feature. So your Palo Alto firewall is a next generation firewall, and it can read all the traffic through it and can stop it. So for example, if you are able to download a virus from your Palo Alto firewall, then if you have enabled that antivirus signature or antivirus feature, it will detect it that, okay, that virus is traveling, and it will drop that packet there. So that's basically it is happening in the application layer control. Oh. Sorry. Any questions till now? No? Okay. Let me clear this. So most of you know that this is our first class, and that was a little bit delayed because of, like, I was about to start in the first week of the October, but because of some portal issues, or because this portal, whatever you are using, this CPM security, that's I have recently like configured it. So that took some time. Earlier, I used to work with this Press developer, and that's still there. That has not been decommissioned, but I just thought to with something new name with the security. So that's why I came with here. So some of you already know my YouTube channel. How many of you have already gone through my YouTube channel, or anybody has not? Anybody? Yes? No? Or is the first time? Guys, keep speaking. It feels me, motivating. Otherwise,
Uh, I gone through 2 to 3 times.
okay, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Anju.
So
Yeah.
yeah, nice. So this is with the name of the Fez developer, and I do have that website also with that same name, fezdeveloper.online. Okay, so and here I used to like upload all the recorded sessions like I have included. So they basically the YouTube videos. So if you go to any of the cybersecurity like CCNA, Linux, or FortiGate Firewall or Checkpoint, Palo Alto Firewalls and F5 LTM, you can like open any of the recorded videos of that one. So for example, if you little bit weak on the CCNA or you want to review any concept, so you can like check whatever you want to go through. For example, you are uh, lagging in the static route configuration, you can go to the static routes. These are basically then YouTube videos, and you can accordingly review and learn for that one. So that's almost like almost everything was covered in CCNA, I remember, but some of the thing was remaining. I remember that automation and cloud and part was missing. I did not record for that one. But still, that's like more than sufficient for the security journey because our focus is to move on to the security perspective. So you can also like go and learn these if you want to learn something, the recorded ones. But obviously, like CCN is in the full details, but other ones are little bit crisp comparatively. They are not in the two details. For example, the FortiGate or Palo Alto. Checkpoint is also like full detail. But the FortiGate and Palo Alto are a little bit crisp because of the like to the point knowledge, and remaining like they're quite well elaborated. And PHP, I just started beginning, so forget about that one. That I was just learning the basics. All right, so that was just you know mind refreshing, so that you can refresh your mind from your learning. So if you like go or learn this Palo Alto firewall, it is very essential to go through the labs, right? Very important perspective. So how basically you are going to do the labs? Or if you don't do, then how it is going to happen? So if you only do the theory part, then it's not going to help. Like I am pretty sure that I can show you the practicals, but if you like listen it and do not do the labs, you will forget, I think, within 5 to 10 days. It will not sustain long. But if you do theory, like obviously I will be teaching you all the things, and I will be showing you the labs as well. But if you do lab by yourself, let's suppose I show something that, okay, you configure the policy of the any specific policy that, okay, that is a firewall rule, this is source and destination, you configure that one. And also you do it by yourself, it may sustain to like around 3 months. There's no guarantee, it can sustain more as well, but or less as well. It just depends on your memory, how basically you do it. But usually it sustains 3 months. But if you like practice more and more, the more you practice, this can sustain quite longer, not only 3 months. But this is like standard time I'm talking about, that how they sustain if you follow these things. Now question comes at how basically are going to do the labs, right? So what I do, and I have VMware installed. Okay. So that's how my VMware is. Okay. So here on the VMware, I use the EVNG. Okay. You see that EVNG. So EVNG is basically a virtual machine, which is inside our VMware workstation. So VMware, you can say hypervisor or the hosting platform, which provides a benefit to install one more operating system inside our machine, because our laptop is having like Windows, one operating system. And if we want to install any other operating system, we need some other platform to virtualize so that we can emulate other operating system. So I used to do like this CEH Windows Server, Certified Ethical Hacker, Kali Linux. So that's practice I used to do. But right now I'm just going to focus on the EVNG for our lab perspective. So that's you also have to do. And how to do these things, like how to install these, I'll be telling you in the upcoming sessions, or I will give you a recorded sessions that how basically you can do it, because these are repetitive things. So you can try to set up by yourself, and you struggle to do that one, I will help you out how to set it up on your PC. So you have to download that VMware workstation. If it doesn't support or you do not get that one, you can also use the VirtualBox or the VMware player, right? So because they are all are like virtual platforms, so you can use any of them. And then we have to download the EVNG OS. So for that EVNG, you have to go to that EVNG website and download there. Okay. So that I have a recorded session for that one. You can go through that one. And if you face issue, then we will troubleshoot during our sessions in the upcoming classes. So if I log in fact, that login is not required, so I will not do that. I will simply show you the GUI. So you see that right now my IP is 192.168.30.100. Right. So I will clear this. Where is my IP? This is my IP, 192.168.30.100. So I will log in GUI of that EVNG using this IP only. And this is same for as you as well. Whenever you will be doing, use that IP. In fact, not use, you have to use, otherwise you cannot log in. Okay. So I go to the browser. I prefer Edge. Okay. And use that same IP, 192.168.30.100. I will zoom a little bit. Okay, so this is a load balancer. I will close this lab. Let's take Palo Alto. Okay, this is my Palo Alto, so I will open that one. Okay, and I will start this. So basically, like that's how the lab you can create according to your requirement. So for example, if you want to any other node or any other router you want to add or server for or Windows, whatever you want to add it here, you can add these devices on this one. Okay, so for example, you need one more practice, you can connect to here. It shows you that on which interface you want to connect it. Okay, and accordingly you can configure and make the lab and practice by yourself, whatever you want. Okay, so I will just use my existing lab as of now. So I'll start it. So anyone has used this EVNG or it's first time for everybody?
First time only.
First time, okay.
Means I already used.
Used, okay. So this is EVNG is like very good platform and it's available free of cost for the learners. Professional version also comes for the corporations, corporate world, like corporates are basically for the business. But for us, you can download free of cost from the EVNG website. And images I will be providing you. For example, for the Palo Alto or VPCs or the router, whatever like basics are required, I will be telling you, or I will also tell you the sources that where you can download directly if you require anything else. But these are like basic things and most of the jobs are done with these only. If I open this, click on this Palo Alto, you can see the CLI that you're basically the console of the firewall. Okay. So how basically your firewall is starting. Okay, so now it is asking me to log in. If I log in, it will see that incorrect username and password. So this, as usual, it is saying that. So what happens that it asks us to log in, but basically its background processes take quite longer. So until they are not set it up or the firewall is not completely up, it deny the credentials or basically you cannot log into the firewall. And this is not only for the lab perspective, it is in the real environment as well. Like for example, you have done a software upgrade of the firewall, it took a restart, then it take uh, longer. Like you will get the prompt for login, but the credentials will not be working. So if it is happening with you, be patient, wait for a while, do not keep on entering because that doesn't make any benefit. And restart time, right? That's very important that whenever you're restarting your firewall, sometimes like for example, you have Palo Alto 820 or 800 series, they take around 20 to 25 minutes in the restart or like completely up. That's like huge time. So whenever like you're upgrading your firewalls or planning a reboot of that one, plan your change accordingly, right? So even 25 minutes for the reboot takes time. So you have to do the pre-checks and post-checks and also make your change window quite a bit longer. Else you draw the change window in doing these activities. And for example, that 5000 series or 3000, 3020 or 5520 series firewalls, they are like quite okay because 5000 like high-end firewalls, they are restarting like 10 minutes and most of the things are done because their resources are like quite high. Okay. Okay. So that's how basically we will access our lab. Let me try to log in now. So now I'm logged in. Okay. So how will I access? So according to my lab, my lab management IP is 192.168.65.200. 65.200. I think this is wrong. I will check. See danger. Okay. Show system. Management. Oh, it has the same IP 192.168.65.200. Okay, let me try to do that. I'm sure that I cannot reach here. Let me try that with that IP. I have to change that, but I will just try. So the problem is like with the this connectivity and my machine should be on the same subnet, but unfortunately they are not. So I will change that IP address to the same subnet PCs. Okay. So if I don't do that, I cannot ping, and in fact, that connectivity will not work. So I will change that IP from the CLI. Okay. Just dropping you. Okay, cool. So if I go to the CLI once again here, I will go to that. So that's how basically you change your IP address of the management interface. Configure. So I'm in the configuration mode, like I can do whatever changes I want to do. So you see that here it was like some greater than sign. And now I have a hash here, so I can modify the things. So I will do set device config system IP address. Okay. And I will use the IP address on the same series here, 192.168.30, where the EVNG is there. Okay. I will use 192.168.30 dot any IP. Let's take 171 or 177. Okay. And then I have to give the keyword as a net mask 255.255.255.0. Okay. So It should be. I should be able to ping that IP now. Ping 192.168.30.1. Okay, I have to do commit. So whenever I do make any changes, I have to commit as well, right? So I will do commit. Meanwhile, I can put that in flash mode. So this is not like you do every time, and whenever you have like brand new firewalls that is having some default IP addresses or DHCP IP address. Okay, so this is why I'm doing, because there are available certain configuration on that firewall, and I don't want to erase it. But in like upcoming classes, I will take a fresh firewall from the scratch and I'll show you that as well. But that's going to take a little bit time. I don't want to invest that time right now on the first class, because you don't know most of the things as of now. So the default, I can show you the default IP of Palo Alto. Okay, so if you search, you can get that this is the default IP address of the Palo Alto 192.168.1.1. And the default credentials are admin and admin. These are the default credentials. Like first, for example, you took a firewall from the factory and you want to log in at that first time from the console. Like then you log in with that IP, you enter the credentials at admin and admin. Instantly, it asks you to change that password, and then you modify that one, like change your password. And that's how basically we do it. So I will show you in the upcoming classes. I will take a fresh firewall and then I will do like that one. Okay. So my commit is done and I should be able to ping now. Right. So now my firewall is reachable from my machine. Right. So that's IP I have configured and that should be reachable now. So now if I want to log in my firewall from here, from the GUI, the browser 192.168.30.177. Okay, so it says that the connection is not private, so not problem, because the certificate, it says that one. I will accept and proceed. I know this is my firewall, so this is safe. So that's how basically your colorful Palo Alto look like. So some of you have already worked on the Palo Alto, like not worked to like a good way, but at least you have little bit a GUI feel or how does look like. Okay, I'll log in my firewall. It says that the telemetry sharing, so I don't want to do that. Mind Malaysia. And that's how basically your CLI, not CLI, this is GUI, right? So that's how basically our GUI looks like. So you have like most of the details available. For example, what is the device name, right? What is the management IP address? What we just changed to 177. What is the subnet mask? Default gateway we have not defined. This is very important whenever you are accessing your firewall remotely. If you don't have that one, it is not going to work. What is the MAC address? Model. So model is like right now, whatever the model I'm using, that is a virtualized VM. So if you have any hardware, it could be telling you like 820, 850, 3020, whatever series firewall you have taken, right? 5000. So whatever the firewall you take it, that's basically it is giving. I think I have some chat. Let me show that, see that. Okay. So
Yeah, hi, Anuj. Jitendra has this side.
Hi, Jitendra.
If all are agree, then you can continue in Hindi. Otherwise, it's okay in English. I can understand that also. But
Oh, okay. So I think let's focus on English because that will be like easy to correlate. And
no,
if
it's
you are like,
okay in English.
yeah,
It should be thought.
yeah. So what I'm thinking, like if you feel little bit difficulty, you can ask me that once again. I will explain that in Hindi. So normal language, let's make it in English. But for example, in any of the topic or you want to ask any questions, you can ask in Hindi. Like we can converse, do the conversion in that one. Okay.
Sure,
So
sure. Okay.
yeah.
No problem.
So, but why I want to prefer English? Because just like normally whenever we go for job interviews and all, so it basically
Okay,
improves our listening
that's
as well as
yeah.
our speaking.
That's clear. Yeah, that's
Cool, yeah.
okay. No problem.
Yeah, perfect. So now if I so that's basically like a model, and these are the CPU IDs, UUIDs. UUID is basically the unique identifiers, memory and all. It tells you this is a version 10.1.0 I'm using. Okay, so this is the, you can say, the software release, or people are also called as a pan OS. Okay, these are the application and thread version. So that's fine. And who are the last admins they logged in? So that's showing here. How many commits or the config changes we have done. So that was the last change we did, that we changed our IP address, right? So that's what it's showing here, that you change something. And remaining everything, like if I give you some more insights, for example, like you want to see the other things like dashboard, you already see it. And you have this device configuration, that what are the general settings you are having, right? So device authentication and all operations. So you can take here the backup if you want. So we have snapshot available. You can export the configuration. You can import the configuration. Reboot and shutdown devices are also available. So there's a lot of things. We will explain these once again, one by one, in the detail, and to the practicals as well. Okay. And how basically we configure it. So being today's first class, so I just wanted to show you that, because some of you might have not worked. So these are the options, are that's how basically the GUI look like. Okay. So if I talk about that, what I'm going to cover, or this course talk about, right? So this is going to be our Palo Alto session. So I will change the color. And these are going to be weekend classes. So we are already on the weekends, so like Saturday and Sunday. Both the days. And that will be, timings will be 9:30 to 11 a.m. in the morning, right? So even AM already says that in the morning. We finish early, but we start early, we finish early, so that you can have a little bit time for your regular job, or you like regular routine, or you want to go somewhere, you finish your learning and you can go shopping, right? So that's why I prefer to have classes in the morning. And another thing, this is going to be around like 2 months it is going to take to cover that one, because we will be having around content of 30 hours. Okay. So like entire content, what I'm targeting, that will be like covered in around 30 hours. So if I take like 3 hours uh, per week, right? 1.5 Saturday, 1.5 Sunday. So something like 3 hours per week. So around it goes to like 10 weeks to cover these 30 hours. But there's no hard and fast. Sometimes we finish it early, sometimes we finish it even longer, like more than 10 weeks. So it just totally depends on what our mutual agreement. That ultimate goal is that you understand everything. If you have more questions, and then we will take it. It may stretch a little bit, maybe like 12 weeks, 13 weeks. I don't care at all, because the ultimate goal is that you learn the things. And then if you have like very good, you grasp everything, you learn well, then we can finish a little bit early as well. But usually this is an average time that we take to finish this one. I'll be helping you like creating your resume, that what are the key things you should be mentioning on your resume, how basically you get an interview call. That's like very important, because you have very good knowledge, but if you're not getting the interviews, then there's no point. Where can you show your skills? You cannot. So I will helping you that how basically you can create a resume, what should the tactics you should follow to for the better job search. And obviously, like I do not have any contacts or agreements with any of the organizations, so cannot refer you. Like refer I can do, but not like I can say something. Okay, take this guy, please take it. I cannot do that one. That's like totally on your skills and capability. And I'm sure that you will get very good skills after completing this one. Because whatever that I have been, taking interviews, giving the interviews, both the things I'm doing. So I have seen that whatever the content I'm covering here, that's like even interviewers are not having that much of knowledge, because they are just keep on learning the things, like they have done it, but they are not very good in the concepts, because they not have very good like knowledge, because that takes sense systematic learning. Then only you develop your skills. You jump on the troubleshooting, but you do not have the theoretical or the cons, do not know the concept that how basically that is working. It is going to be tough time for you to troubleshoot that. So that's going to be good learning. Like after this course, you will be having a very good. I cannot say that you will be an expert, but yeah, something like near to expert you will be, or above average, I should say. That's the right word, not the average. You will be going to above, or something like, if I rate it 1 to 10, you are going to something between 8 to 9. That's what you should be. If you just like given the condition that you attend all the classes, if you miss those classes, you go through the recordings and do the labs. If you do not do that, then it is going to be a tough time. Okay, so if you cover the sessions and lab, it is going to be very good. And obviously, I'm happy to help for any of the questions you are having anytime. Like we'll be having normal discussion questions, like open questions. We can discuss and go further. The cost of this session is going to be 49998, not 3 times, 29 only, right? So something like 5,000. Okay, so that's what we are going to take for that one. And I think I covered everything, right? Yeah. And how basically you can pay me on my website. That's the because on the new platform I have some issues on for the payments. You can do from the older platform, which was this one. Okay, like pressdeveloper.online. If you go to the home page, there is a section of the Palo Alto Firewall. Okay, so you can also like see the things what I'm going to cover here, like device management and devices. I will explain you once again, like what are the things, what they are. Okay, so this time, like okay, that should be starting from the 6th of October. I think September is wrong, so that might be starting from this our 19th of October. So I'll change that one, and you can like click on this pay and enroll, and that's how basically you will pay to that one. Okay, so right now I'm also like working on my current platform, that's a PM security. So current, because it is a new one, so currently the payment options are have to be included. Even my classes got delayed because of the incorporation of that, no, this Zoom integration and get you guys onboarded on that new platform. This one was fine, but just thought to move on because of the additional functionalities available. For example, like integrated classes, like I do not have to share you the Zoom link that please join through that one. Here you have just log in the platform, you click and you join the classes. So that's how basically it is going to be. All the recordings you will be getting, all the recordings will be available here. Okay, so on the same platform, you get all the recordings. And you can watch your time. So they by default, they are valid for 1 year. But if you feel that, okay, you need more time, there'll be no extra charge. Or you can just drop an email or WhatsApp me. I can like tell you that how basically you can renew. I will basically renew for 1 more year without any charge. So if you need it, you can record. But 1 year is like more than sufficient for the learning. But if you need, you can just drop an email or uh, reach us. So how basically you can reach us? You can go to my website once again. That older one is having my number. I will upload the new platform as well. So this is my WhatsApp number. You can reach me here at the top. Okay. And also on my email, this just okay. For the email, that contact at the Sapiem Security is also working. You can use any of the email IDs. So both of them are email IDs are live for both of them. And this is same WhatsApp number I'm going to use for the new platform as well. Any questions till now regarding anything?
Manoj, I have a question. Like once you complete like follow this like this course, so like any remaining part is pending, will be pending for like any file like to learn more for Alto.
What pending? Sorry, I just did not get you clearly.
If I want to learn advanced Palo Alto, so will you cover under this batch and
Advanced Palo Alto means that what topic basically that you're looking for? That why
because
to understand.
as I want to know like you will cover all this like
Okay, what I'm going to
all
cover, yeah. So let me tell you that what basically I'm going to cover. That's like very good point. So in this session, like what I will be covering, and then you can tell your requirement that it is covering or you need something additional. Okay. So very first thing, like I'm going to tell you the introduction. Like I consider you that you do not know any of the firewall. Okay. Introduction or basics of the firewall. Okay. And then after that one, we will learn that zones, right? Because the Palo Alto is a zone-based firewall, how you configure the interfaces.
okay.
What are the different interface types like TAP, ECC, or layer 3, layer 2, all the types of the interfaces I will be explaining. Backup, how to do the backup, right? So upgrade, software upgrade, or you can say the PAN OS upgrade. So these things like these are basically then from here, basically I can say these are the administrative tasks. So that I will be taking because these are the deployment ones. So you have to do without that one, you cannot deploy your firewall. So these are the admin tasks you will be doing. Okay, so I'll be explaining those. Later on, like we will go through the security policy how to create the security policies, what are the best practices to create any security policy, what are the things you should be considering before creating the security policy. Okay. Then we will learn about the NAT. So here in the NAT, like we will cover those static, dynamic, and the port address transition or NAT overload. Along with that, we'll cover the source NAT and the destination NAT. So these are the NAT, like which IP is getting translated, either it is source IP or it is the destination IP. Okay, so both the concept we will be doing theory as well as the lab. So most of the things, whatever I'm telling you right now, for everything, we will be doing the theory as well as the labs. For some of the things, like could be like license issues, or because we will be using the free license Palo Alto. So some of the very like few features, like one or two, that could not be having a live valid license. So for those, we will be doing the theoretical. We will be doing the labs as well for that one, but those we cannot see that okay, those are working or not. Only the difference, but configuration all will be doing everything. So everything will be doing the theory as well as the lab. Okay, so here like those we also cover like static, NAT, dynamic, and that. Okay, and also like we will be creating our NAT policy, that how basically your NAT will be translated, like either using the source NAT or destination NAT, and then how you change your IP address. Okay, so security policy and the NAT policy. There's two aspects in the Palo Alto firewall, so we'll learn both of them, that how to create policies. Later on, we will be learning the concept of our app ID. So right now, this is a very new feature that has come in the app ID, like people also call it as an application ID. And after that one, we will be covering as a URL filtering. So URL filtering is like what specific URL you want to allow. For example, you want to allow only social media, or not allow, basically social media we block usually. So for example, you block social media on your enterprise, for example, the Facebook, or you want to block the youtube.com on your organization, or you want any adult content or any type of category you want to block. And if you want to specifically block one website, one thing is like category, complete category. Another thing is like one single website. So you are okay to allow social networking, but you block the social networking, but you want to allow the people to use the LinkedIn. So how to configure that override rules. Okay, so those also will be covering. And after that one, like we will go through some this next gen features. So next gen feature, when we talk about, like for example, our antivirus, file blocking, right? So content inspection, we can say. So for example, you want to block the PDF file that anybody cannot download PDF. So we usually don't block the PDF. What we block? We block the bin.hex file, or we block the exe file that nobody can download the exe file, because most of the executable files are the dangerous for the environment, or malicious files could be there. So we block the exe or bin.hex file, or whatever file type extension you want to block. So that comes under the content inspection. So those policies, like we'll be learning how to attach the security profile. So this is called as a security profile. Okay, so we'll learn how to create those security profiles, how to attach those in the policies, and take those actions. Okay, and another thing we will be learning the HA. So that's basically our high availability. Okay, so we will take the two firewalls, configure HA. If one of the firewall goes down, then another firewall will be working and taking all the traffic. So we'll take theory as well as the lab for this one. Like for everything, like we will be doing theory and lab for that's included for by default. We'll also cover our IPsec VPNs. Okay, so that will be like focus will be on the site-to-site VPN. So we'll learn theory in the detail, the cryptography fundamental. We'll configure the lab for site-to-site VPN, but here I will not be covering the remote VPN. Okay, remote access VPN. That basically that creates an going to be tough for the because of the users and certificate. So that's why I do not cover that one. Okay. The remote access means that you use that global protect portal, right? You install on your machine and then it connects to Palo Alto. So that I'm not going to cover. Side to side VPN we will be doing theory as well as the lab. Like we'll take two firewalls and connect the side to side VPN between those two firewalls. Okay. This one for the remote access, I can show you the configuration that how basically they are, but we will not be able to cover up with the lab and cannot not easy to show. I cannot say not possible, but not convenient to show. So that's why I skip that part. If you want to do by yourself, you can do. I'll be helping you out. So that's basically like I'm going to cover all the things. Now, if you uh, observe that any other small topic is missing or I should include, or you want to say something that we can say, yeah, one more thing I think I have missed. So let me tell you as well, because if we'll be doing all these things, so during also we check our troubleshooting, right? So for example, uh, any of the traffic, whatever is getting, how basically that is hitting that policy or not, that traffic is allowed to or getting blocked through the firewall. We will do the packet capture. Okay. And I will also take the flow basic. Okay. So these three things will be coming under the troubleshooting. So these three things I'll be telling you. That's part of the troubleshooting because you configure all those things to the lab, but how to investigate, because you go to the operations, your setup is already done. Then how you troubleshoot that somebody comes up that, okay, hey, my traffic is not working. I'm pinging google.com, that is not working. I'm trying to reach certain server, that is not working. That is getting blocked on the firewall. You say, no, this is not blocked on the firewall. This is something else. The problem is this normal happens. The problem is with the server, they come that blocking on the firewall. Problem is the source blocking on the firewall. There is a router issue blocking on the firewall. So it will be happening with you when you're working the troubleshooting. Problem is anywhere else. Anybody just put their put up their face and they say, the problem is with the firewall. So how basically you can troubleshoot and justify yourself with the evidence? No, this is not the firewall. So that will be learning too. So anything else you want to tell that which is should be included? Little bit, not because this is a quite long one. Anything additional anyone is looking for?
Are you covering panorama as well as the VCs?
Okay, that's good one. So VCs, basically, let me tell you, I will be telling you the theoretical concept of the VCs. Okay. And the practical one is very easy, not too difficult. But in our lab environment, that VM, the PA VM virtualized environment doesn't support the VCs. Okay. So that's why we will not be able to do the practical for those one. But I'll be telling you theoretical concept, and I will also show you basically that how they can create the VCs, and remaining everything is same. There's no difference in the VCs because ultimately that VCs an individual firewall only. That's it, right? That's only the virtual instance of one hardware. So that's you have one big firewall and you have multiple smaller firewalls inside that one. That's it. Remaining all concepts remain same. Regarding that panorama, uh, I will not be going in the too deep for the panorama, but I have a plan. I can show you that how basically you can push policies from the panorama. You can manage your devices on the panorama. That's it. And that's what basically the panorama is, nothing else. Only the major job is to push the policies and device configurations to the firewall. So I'll look for that. I do not have the image for the panorama, but we can cover that, yeah, at the end. That's not too complex one. Anything else anyone is having in mind, in your mind? Which should be included or You think that anything? I don't think that something should not be included. All the things are essential, and that's it. I think because most of the things, almost everything, not everything, I will not say, but I think almost everything is covered because nobody can, like, nobody can teach everything. That's not possible at all. So we have a lot of small things that could be a thing, but that's like very easy. Like you just know it, you do it. That's it. But these are the major ones which people should learn. Without these, like, people are nothing. So it's good. What do you feel? It's good, bad? No, nothing.
Nothing, Anuj.
Okay.
Uh,
No, I was saying that it's
An-
good, like good or not. Okay,
Anju,
first.
Anju,
Yeah.
I have
Good.
one question. See,
Yeah.
I'm very new to the Palo, I
Mhm,
mean, firewalls security.
mhm, mhm,
Okay, just I know in my previous organization which I have worked, but
mhm,
I'm a level 2 engineer and level 3 engineers will take care of the security. Okay,
mhm.
but I
Okay.
have I mean I have saw the
Success. Mhm,
interfaces and access everything,
mhm,
but
mhm,
where we have done in the environment like
mhm,
what is that ba taking backups like
mhm,
software updates, dynamic updates, everything.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
And a
mhm,
little bit I know regards to the IPsec VPN as well, the messages and the modes, these things and all.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
So, but I have one question, Anju.
mhm,
See, if any of the requirement came from the client, so at
mhm,
this point, right, first we have to create zone or else interfaces or else a security policy, meaning that if there is no new, I mean, security policy or else whatever it may be the zone, whatever it may be the interface configuration, the setup. Okay, so the troubleshooting part and all that is like different cases. So if the
mhm,
zone is there, interface is there, the security policy is there at that time, if there any issue occurs, so then at that point we can troubleshoot. If we
mhm,
are new and we are creating any of the rule or the policy,
mhm,
whatever it may be, I don't know like exact terminologies also. And
mhm.
at this point, what we have to go for?
Okay, cool. So, uh, like in summary, very first thing we will configure the interface, then zones, then we will be creating the policies. But let me tell you that we will be covering everything. Like we will take a firewall from the scratch. Like we'll take a new firewall, okay, on our lab.
Okay.
We'll configure the interfaces of that firewall. We will create the zones. We will assign that interface to that zone. We will create the security policy. You will see that how the traffic is flowing, how basically that traffic is getting dropped. And if you want to access the internet, what configuration you should do so that you can traffic can go to the internet. What you should do, like we create a policy to block that one. So we'll be covering that everything. Because whatever you have asked, that's basically the summary of everything. Like you
Okay.
can do all these things once you have learned all these concepts. Okay. So we'll be covering everything one by one on this.
Okay. So, and you said that flow
Mhm.
basics, right? So, flow
Yeah.
basics in the sense SP3 architecture, zone-based firewall, and the packet flow of
Yep.
the firewall, that and all you
Correct.
can
Yeah.
teach, right?
Yeah. Correct. So I have missed that one. So I will be telling you the packet flow. Okay.
Okay.
So here I will, like, 1 hour session will be only for the packet flow. That
Okay.
what happens like when any packet enters the inside the firewall. Then what it goes like, what routing take place, how NAT take place, how the security takes place, how exit interface take that exit, how TUS or the type of TUS field that works. So everything will be explained. Like 1 hour I will be dedicating to the packet flow only,
Okay.
and that includes that includes the SP3
Any tag
feature.
things it will be covering here.
Any sorry, come again.
Any tag related things it will be covering here.
A tag usually like tag everything lies on this capture and flow basics. They don't do
Okay.
anything else.
Going forward to the packet capture, which tool will
Yeah.
be using? Wireshark or else any something other?
No, Palo Alto is having inbuilt feature of this
Oh, packets.
packet
Okay. Okay.
packet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll
Got it.
use that one. So
Mm.
whenever you go to the tag, they do here and there and just there. little stuck on this packet capture and flow basic. So packet capture we can do like without maintenance window. Flow basic they ask for the maintenance window, and that's what they get time to think of and troubleshooting. So they come back to you. They say no, this is not working. That one this needs the flow basic. Then they will say this will be impacting your services. Then yes, this needs a change window, and then you say that okay, I will come back tomorrow. So that's what it happens. And if it is critical, obviously there's no option. There's if a P1 raised, then you have to be on call until it's fixed. So everybody agrees to take the flow basic any times. So that's tactics of the attack.
Okay. So sorry to ask you, Anju, like,
Yeah.
so where are you basically from? So I'm from Andhra Pradesh.
Cool. I'm in Noida right now, New Delhi.
Okay. No, yeah,
And
okay.
just one more thing, I think you're pronouncing my name Anju, but my name is Anuj. Basically, it's called as Anuj.
Anuj, okay, Anju. Anuj, sorry.
No hard
Sorry.
feelings, but just because you said many times, so I thought to correct you. That's it.
Okay, no problem, no problem. I correct it, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, and you have like a 12 plus years of experience, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, currently you are working also.
Yeah. I'm also working.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Thank you so much, Anuj. So wonderful
Okay.
session for this, and it will be helpful to us. So better to plan to join a
Yep.
session for this Palo Alto, and so when it will be starting going forward.
Yes, we have started. This is our first class. We'll continue every weekend.
Okay.
Like tomorrow also we'll be having the session
Okay.
after the second session. So better enroll. You can enroll from my website. I can give the link here as well.
Yeah. Sure.
So
So
I'll
I
pass
saw
to
Anil,
you. Yeah,
so I saw
please.
your
Yeah.
link from one of
Mm,
the networking channel. So
mm.
that's what like I joined in this session, the first
Okay.
day of the session.
Okay. Cool. On which LinkedIn you see or where you have seen?
No, one of the networking channel in WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Somebody was
Okay. Okay.
shared in the networking channel. I mean, networking
Okay.
group in WhatsApp. So
Okay.
there I
Okay.
got it.
Okay. Cool.
So by
Okay.
God's
Okay.
grace, like
Mhm.
I'm getting this subject from you.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
Hi Anuj.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah, Anuj, I just wanted to ask
Mhm.
like this Palo Alto also works as a proxy.
Proxy, you can work like as a proxy. If you want, you can take that to work as a proxy as well. It is totally on your choice how basically. But usually proxy, I haven't seen being used as Palo Alto is not being used as a proxy usually. 48
Okay.
people I have seen people using, but Palo Alto I hardly have seen. So I think could not be available feature. I haven't checked that one. So
Okay.
as of now, I'll say no, it doesn't work.
Okay. And second thing, Anuj, actually, it was
Mhm,
asked during one of the interview, this question,
mhm,
like,
mhm,
if you could please tell me, like, what would be the placement if I have load balancer and I have firewall as well.
mhm,
So, what would be the placement of firewall? So, like, if you can give me that and like overview of the devices. If my organization and I'm
mhm,
setting up new organization and I
mhm.
am being told like to place devices so that it can filter. So what would be the placement of devices? If you can give me an overview of that as well.
Yeah. So whenever you do that, I can clear this one, right? So
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah. So whenever like we deploy any traffic, so if you understand the flow, like if you have your own organization, okay. So I will
Mhm.
take that this is your organization, and if you have like servers, okay. So very first thing, like for example, anybody is coming from outside, they will be landing on your load balancer, okay. So I will call it as LTM.
Yes.
And here on the load balancer, you have like multiple uh, servers connected behind that one. Okay.
Right.
So now if you like think of, let's suppose this is server one, this is server two, this is server three. Okay. And now if you want to save your firewalls from the attacks. Okay. So very first thing, there's like no hard and fast rules that where you should put, but from like you can also understand from where your threats are coming, right? Because from this way, because this is an internet. So very first
Right.
thing, you want to safeguard your load balancer as well, right? So you deploy the firewall here because why we want to deploy here? Because you want to get safe from like any very first thing like DDoS attacks. Okay,
Right.
so you deploy it here, and also for example any cross-site scripting XSS is coming, and your firewall is capable of your WAF, right? So that feature is providing that also that can be stopped here. Whatever the attacks will be coming, that you can stop here only itself. It is not going through the load balancer. Okay. Another way there is like, because here you have like multiple uh, servers. So people, rather than directly connecting from this LB, I should like draw like this, so that one switch. And from here, like you connect your load balancer from switch, and there from switch, these servers are connected. So you can also deploy here as well. But here the benefit you are getting here, that you do not have to do SSL offloading.
Okay.
Because most of the time your certificate is here.
Mhm.
Okay, so whatever certificate is presented to those internet users, that is coming from that LTM, not from here to the servers directly. There's no hard and fast rule. Servers are also can create certificate, but in the 95% cases, we do certificate here. So whatever the traffic is coming here, that is not like the SSL offloading that firewall does not have to do. That have like unencrypted traffic, and it can traverse that faster. Okay, but in the normal environment, wherever we deploy, usually it is good practice to do it here, because it's like front facing and you want to save your load balancer as well. So that's why it is good practice to put here. But if you want to have a banking environment, or you think that there is a more safety precautions, I have also seen like wherever I'm working, we have firewalls in both the places. We have firewall here and here as well. But if you have like hard in the money, you have less money, I will suggest to deploy here, the front facing, which is facing to the internet. That's best practice.
Okay. Understood.
If
Thank you.
we are using a link load balancer, then firewall should be behind that. This is the best practice, as per my understanding. Because
Behind means
link load balancer as well as the SLB. SLB means server load balancer.
so if you have like 1 and 2, so you want to one position or no position 2?
Now in position 1.
Position 1, yeah. So this is the like normal practice we follow, that it should be on the position 1.
So link load balancer
Yeah,
before the firewall,
correct. Yeah,
before the WAF.
yeah. Sir Saman, you can top up. Yeah. All right, guys. So just try to register, and feel free to join tomorrow session. We'll continue though, like you can. Okay. So
So,
if you, yeah,
is this session available on YouTube or not? Today's session.
I will upload this one. Like I will upload this on the YouTube as well. Right now, it's not going live on the YouTube, but I will upload.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Anuj.
Okay. All right, guys. So just register for it, and see you tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Now, if you can want to contact me on the WhatsApp, you can contact me on 844-811-6335. Okay, and my website is freshdeveloper.online. Also, This is a new platform I'm usually using, Sapiem Security. Alright, guys. So see you soon tomorrow. Till that, bye.